Hello, friends. Welcome. Welcome back. Been a little while. Been off in the world of board game recording. If you're following my YouTube channel, lots of board game stuff going on over there. G'day, Kung Fu. Yes. But we're back. We're back painting some display figures for a little bit. Trying to prepare for the Guild's Inn, which is 20 odd days away, 25, something like that. So I thought I'd better whip out and do something. Zero airbrushing so far on this piece. Zero. Excited to get some on there later on. Anyway, I've been feeling a little under the weather. And then I got a new job. Well, same job. Same company, but somewhat of a promotion. So no, I just wanted to try building up without it for a bit. Thanks, mate. Hello, Mini Mancer. Welcome, champion. Hey, Frog Jim. Well, we got lots to talk about at least. Since it's been a little while. Sammy. Is everyone up to speed on Secret Invasion? Are we all up to speed on that? Okay. Well, we won't talk about that. I'm enjoying it so far. I'm quite enjoying it. We've got the new season of The Witcher. Just dropped yesterday. Day before. I thought the second episode was better than the first. Just a little bit. But yeah, still better. Yeah, tend to agree, mate. I was sort of reflecting on Endgame and all of the Marvel films leading up to that, and I was just like, that was really a wonderful time. But I don't know if it's so much that Marvel has jumped the shark, or if it is just comic books in general, which is where they're obviously pulling their source material from, are a business that has to sell their product, and so when they have characters that are fan favorites, they just keep doing dumber and dumber shit to keep them alive, or to keep trying to tell stories about them. Like, I think if we all honestly ask ourselves, what's the best TV shows or the best books we've ever read, we always go away wanting more. You always finish it and you're like, man, I wish they did more of that. But it's the very fact that they don't do more, or the very fact that it has an actual ending, that makes it so special in some ways. And I think that's sort of the problem they've found themselves in now, is they keep trying to tell stories that, really probably not that interested in. Whereas Captain America and Iron Man, the fact that they died made it even better. Yep, that's another very good point. Kung Fu. G'day, Timbo. Yep, friends, the last few weeks have been absolutely ham with me recording board games, and I've been very, very close to the end of the series that I'm recording. And as we are right near Guild's Inn, yeah, I decided I better do something new. And who knows, what's the time now? It's 2 weeks, 3 weeks away, so maybe we'll get a few things done. But unfortunately, I'm heading to Tasmania for a week, for work, part of my new gig. So that is a week off of painting. When I first started streaming, I used to feel the need to justify my decision making, and be like, I'm sorry for letting you all down. I don't do that anymore. Because I haven't let you down. I'm awesome. And then, of course, I started playing touch on a Monday night, which is actually really knocked my rhythm all over. Just been very, very tired on a Tuesday, which is normally board games night. So I've been exhausted from that. All right, I did want to get some thoughts on this piece in general. Um, this is really probably the only thing that I'm going to take to Guilds Inn that's new, and that I'll have enough time to really give a good crack to. So my question is, do we want to add, well, I'm obviously planning on adding some tattoos or war paint, some blood effects from these heads. Do we want to add something like some sort of secondary glow from behind? Maybe a warm orange, like a fiery conflagration behind him? Or do we just sort of focus on the greens and the colours that we've already got? I've gone for a pretty warmish colour palette. Even the metals are sort of warm. But I've tried to incorporate some cold lights in there as well. Thoughts? What do you think would look cool on this guy? This is the viewing angle, by the way. Well, I was sort of thinking we'll do like a rim light on this side. Orange here, orange here, orange on this bit. Yeah, I think it could be cool. Alright, we'll give that a crack. Blue, 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 I want you in my room. Let's spend the night together from now until forever. Blue, 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 blue. I wanna go blue, blue. I started him yesterday. Yeah, a bit of orange will look good, and that's the reason why I've immediately switched this to blue instead of purple, because it'll look really good with a bit of orange firelight. So this year is just absolutely flying by. It's crazy. It's crazy that we're in July. The older I get, the faster everything feels like it's moving. But there was huge news this week, and it's probably not hit the radar of too many of you wonderful people, and it's maybe not all that huge, I guess, but orange is easy, mate. Don't be ridiculous. Just highlight with yellow. Shade with red. Fucking easy. I shared a post on my Facebook page. One of the big collectors of Little Toy Soldier art is opening a really cool museum of miniature art in Las Vegas. So if you're not following the page already, just nip over to Facebook and follow Verko's Vault, Verko, Verko's Vault. Based in Las Vegas, Nevada, in the United States of America, and they've purchased a gigantic warehouse facility right on the strip in Las Vegas for miniature artists to have their works displayed in this museum of miniature art. And I've known Gary for quite a few years now, and it is absolutely mind-boggling to see how many pieces of work he has already collected and how many amazing artists that are already represented in there. He's going through at the moment and doing Facebook posts sort of spotlighting the artists that he's collected. It is just a veritable who's who of miniature artists, and the museum's going to be unreal. Scarabost I am indeed, yes. However, I am very much in the lower echelons of people that he's collecting. But privileged to have made the cut. Yeah, if you go and have a look at the post on the Facebook page, you'll see a couple of pieces of mine in the announcement. Well, there's going to be probably a little demo wing of the museum. It's got a few little demo bits and bobs. When it opens, yeah, I obviously haven't spoken to him about it yet, but I'm sure there'll be some sort of grand opening. So, rain, hail or shine, I'll be there. Hey, Jared. Rain, hail or shine, I will be there for the opening. COVID, irrespective of COVID, I'll be there. No. Footy's going well, mate. Yeah, I've been feeling a lot more like my body can handle the rigours of footy at the moment. Last couple of weeks, haven't finished a game and felt like I was going to die. So my body's getting more used to it, which is nice. Suck shit. Last season of Henry Cavill. That's assuming they will continue after the announcement. They got hammered for saying that cast whatever his name, the other Hemsworth. Where is this guy from? I think it's Hera. I don't remember. I just bought it. Give it to me. I want it. Um, no, Henry Cavill didn't do anything other than leaving the show. Because he loved the Witcher franchise and he was like so excited about being a part of it and just was, jazzed about the show. And then after they finished filming season 3, there's sort of rumblings that he had some creative disagreements with the people that were making the show because they weren't sticking true to the books or the game or something. And he's basically come out and said, "Oh, this is my last season of The Witcher." Whereas, like 2 years before, he's like, "I will make The Witcher for everything, forever." They were always axing him from Superman, mate. That was nothing to do with him, I don't think. That's DC trying to fucking do something. I think he's the best Superman. I actually think Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill as Superman and Batman are two of the best versions of those characters, if not the best. I would love to. Work, work. I haven't seen The Flash yet. You reckon Keaton for Batman? Is that just because he was the first? Is there not some nostalgia there? Because truly, when you go back and watch movies from the 80s, they're not that good. Alright, fair point. The first serious non campy one. Oof. There's some controversial statements in there. I think Connery was the best Bond. Well, I did enjoy Pierce Brosnan, also who I grew up with. Um, I have Daniel Craig quite high on the list for that though. But again, that's because the quality of the films, Casino Royale in particular, was just unreal. Uh, I can't I can't agree with the Joker statement. I think Jack Nicholson is amazing, but Heath Ledger's Joker was actually fucking scary. How psychotic he was. Jack Nicholson's just a little bit too funny for my tastes, anyway. But I'll throw another one out there that's not a controversial statement. Probably the best Joker is actually neither Jack Nicholson nor Heath Ledger. It's probably Mark Hamill who did voice acting in Batman the animated series for the Joker, and he's unreal. Yeah. Hamill. Voice is fucking iconic. I love her, but do you think she can see when I tell her it's the end for you and me? It was over. Hey everybody, chill. Love Arnold. Come on! Bennett, let off some steam. What do we want to mix into this? Fascinating record. Yes, oh mate, there's one on there that's like 160 lines from Arnold Schwarzenegger. It goes for like 9 minutes. It's amazing. Hey Carl, thank you, mate. Yeah, working on this one. We've got the Guilds in painting event coming up in, as Jared just said, 27 days, and so I wanted to paint something new for it. I've been mostly doing my board games videos the last couple of weeks, and I have a trip to Taz coming up for work, so I'm going to miss a week of painting on that front. So yeah, it was time to whip it out. And for whatever reason, I wasn't feeling the other project I was working on with the two ladies, but maybe finding some inspiration on this one will help me bring that back. But I haven't done any airbrushing on this at all yet. I'm looking forward to just harmonizing and tweaking some things with the airbrush and then seeing how it looks. The Display Painters Guild, was that last weekend, Jared? Right. Everyone should go and check out Jared's latest piece, the Athena. Beautiful, beautiful work. Reflective non-metallic metals. Nice colour palette. It's good stuff, mate. She going overseas with you? How many are you planning on taking over? It's fucking big, hey? It's a fucking massive shield. Yeah, I think that's too many. I would cut down to about 5, I think, if I were you. But it depends. I mean, are you doing it at one of your dioramas? Is a diorama going? Because that's a separate category. But yeah, I would think 5 in your display is probably the most you would want to go for. Yeah, cool. So you take those two; they're separate. But my the year that I went, or the year that I went and won something, I only had 4 pieces entered, and they only looked at one. They only awarded one of the 4 pieces, and I feel like you lessen your chances of them finding the one good one if you've got it in the middle of 12 entries or whatever. So I think you need to pick your best, and yeah. I can't wait to hear. Can't wait to hear how you feel about it after you've been. It's just such a hard feeling to describe walking into that room. The noise just assaults your senses. The level just punches you in the face. It's crazy. Crazy. My thought process for choosing pieces. Well, it depends on the event. You know, for Queensland Model Hobby Expo, which is just my local one, I'll just take anything and everything. I'll even just take shit that's not even very good. Just as a way to support the event, pay some money, and be appreciative of having a local event. But for a big event, my thought process changes for sure. What are we going into? Oh, that's right. I'm going into Radiant Flesh. Yes. But that, well, Mini Mance's hit the nail on the head. That's a great piece of advice from me. Well done, me. Ask yourself that question. You can't go wrong. But obviously ask that question of yourself. Don't ask yourself, would little Deno think this is cool? Yeah, I think your stuff's coming along really nicely, Mini Mancer. Really nicely. It's almost as if... See you, buddy. Thanks, mate. Looking forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks, eh? I know, it's this crazy logic, isn't it? Who would have thunk it? Handle the fighting, the affection I can't stand. Boom, boom, boom. And I don't mind just talking. Just don't try to touch my hand. I know most of you don't care about rugby league, but the Cowboys, my team, played last night and beat a team 74-0, which is the largest win in the NRL era. The third largest win of all time in rugby league. The highest ever score that a team has been kept to nil. And yeah, it's given us a real absolute red hot crack now of making it into the finals, whereas a few weeks ago everyone was writing us off. I'm pretty jazzed. Go the Cowbies. No, I love the Ashes, yeah, mate. Yeah, no, watched the first game when I had my mate Whaley over. We watched, stayed up till about 1 o'clock in the morning watching the Ashes. It was good. First game, one of the most amazing finishes in a game of cricket. I haven't checked the score this morning actually. Day 3 last night, I think it was. How'd we go? Yeah, that's an interesting question, mate, because when we're judging at Crimson Brush, we'll just have one category and it'll be like everything gets judged against each other with the standard. But a bust is easier to judge than a large figure because you don't have a base, you don't have environment adding to it. Oh, lovely. I love a lot of the Australian players at the moment. Travis Head, fucking love him. Paddy Cummins, what a champion. The GOAT. Marnie. It's a good team, actually. Yeah, you don't have to worry about base, environment, anything like that when you're doing a bust. You just have to worry about painting the fucking thing well. So, I think busts potentially have a slightly easier time at being judged to a higher level. But I'll caveat that and say that because of that fact, because of it just being judged on your painting, you have less room to hide. And so if you fuck it up, it's much, much, much more obvious. And you also have less opportunity for creative, interpretation. Like with this, what it's like, cool, I'll do some tattoos. Great. Or maybe I'll do some fucking war paint. Woo! You know, there's no real way to paint this guy differently. So one of the things I have done in the past, and I'm sure we'll do again in the future, is try to incorporate multiple busts in one story, because I think that allows you to tell an interesting story and combine, things together. Yeah, sharing the load of storytelling with the two models. You can combine their pictures, the lighting, how it all comes together. But then also incorporating things like basing elements on the plinth. But that's every bust, mate. There's very, very few busts where you're able to interpret it in a new way that isn't just this topic. Whereas you can absolutely tell a different story when you're incorporating basing elements and what have you on a figure. Thank you, Mijar Aznabal. Yeah, we'll do some war paint on this guy, maybe some tattoos. And then the orange glow will look cool, I think. Bit of airbrushing is going to look good. Bress, he's a big boy. This was a spur of the moment decision to pull this out and start working on it. But one thing that I absolutely am convinced of now is anytime I feel like my mojo is gone, is grab out a bust. Busts are pure painting joy. You just get to sit down, paint straight away. You don't need to worry about anything else. And it's very freeing to just be able to go, yep. Hey, no shame in that, mate. They're beautiful. I spruik this all the time. Painting busts is done for no reason other than painting enjoyment. There's no game that uses a bust. There's no ulterior motive. You paint a bust because you want to paint something with no ulterior motive. And that is extremely liberating and satisfying. I don't mind just talking. Just don't try to touch my hand. I love her. But do you think she can see when I tell her it's the end for... Yeah, painting busts will make you a better painter for sure. Because as we said before, there's nowhere to hide. It's just you're painting. But it's just so freeing to not be sitting there thinking to yourself, oh, I just got to finish this and I can play a game with my painted models, or, you know, whatever other reason you have to paint little toy soldiers. Won't be a long stream today, friends. Just sitting down here painting, starting my morning in a relaxed way. And I thought, yeah, I'm going to whip the camera on and just say good day to all my great friends. Hey, Thomas. We'll just keep painting until we're got breakfast stuff. I've got to go cook myself breakfast. Very excited. Bacon, eggs, French toast. I'm really well, mate. Thank you for asking. Just painting a cool model and having a wonderful time. I was looking at my diorama little thing with the two ladies, and I was looking at it and I was thinking, wow, this is going to be a big job. And the idea of just throwing myself into that was just exhausting. And I was like trying to psych myself up for it, because it's like, this is going to be for the Guilds Inn dinner. You want to do something great. Just couldn't find the motivation. So I was looking in my thing and I saw this guy. I was like, he's cool. I'm going to paint him. Bang, whipped it out, started painting. Just started getting psyched about painting again. Every day I'd get up, I'm like, ooh, paint a little bit of my guy. It's mad. Hey, very nice, very nice. How long did she take? That's beautiful. Not that, Deno. Yup. Would you like some feedback, or are you happy to just for me to express my appreciation of your piece? Yeah, no, I wouldn't want you to change anything. It's done. You move on. You learn from it. But what I would say is what you need to start thinking about now. Um, Textural differences. The skin and the fabrics have a nice shift, and so does the metal and the skin. I think the hair doesn't sit right. It's not doesn't look like hair, and I think that they could have really leaned into the textural differences of the fabrics a little more. And then you've just got this. This is a female, uniquely female skin tone thing. This line beside the eye and the fat flaps there under the cheek. You just need to have that just be fractionally softer. You can't have hard lines like that on female faces. I don't know if it's because she's an android or you were trying to do something a little different, but that line just stands out to me. And the same with those ones there. Just needs to be slightly softened, and I reckon that's perfect. Particularly love the under eyelid. That's perfectly done. You have that shadow which really reinforces the eyes. The eyes are great too. Um, yeah, I think the only element that's genuinely weak on this entire piece is the hair. I think the hair is really um, shithouse compared to the rest of it. Like, what is this little fucking fluff here? That's good. Yeah, you're just thinking about where just got to think about where the highlighting is on hair. Um, it's different specular highlight, so you need to move that highlight over into the center of the hair, and maybe just a tiny bit on the tips. Tricky to do, tricky to visualize as well, but yeah, good stuff. Yeah, yeah, it's very, very obvious looking at that piece. Mm-hmm. So plan for this week is Bucks and I are going to get on stream on either Wednesday or Thursday night. Not sure yet. One of the two. Um, Can't want to do that. Brown? Hmm. Looking forward to it. Should be fun. He's been uh, he's been doing some exploding recently. I feel like he's hit a new level. Young Andrew. Don't tell him I said that. But his work's really, really starting to hit a level that will make some people sit up and take notice, I think. I think he's at the point now where he's potentially challenging Dave Colwell for best painter in Australia. I have done the entire paint job of this with this size 1 Winsor & Newton. I have not once switched to my size 0 for details. How good when I do switch to the size 0. Wow, look out. He's doing some great shit, man. Some great shit. Making me look fucking ordinary. Yeah, I think he's painting. Whenever he's painting for a competition, he loves to go into secret squirrel mode. You know, I don't agree with that approach. I feel like if I'm going to paint something, if people seen it or not, doesn't matter. If it's good enough, the quality will stand out. This is actually quite a challenging bust to paint because of how many details there are. The actual one of the contrast elements that I've talked about quite a bit is a contrast between textured and smooth. And the issue with this piece is you've just got so much texture everywhere that you don't really get that smooth contrast all that much, which can make the model look very, very busy. And that's sort of what I'm staring into at the moment. Is there's just a lot of things happening all over the place. So I'm trying to visualize a way that I can soften some elements and maybe make them a little bit less textured. Whether that's the fabric, but I think the fabric should be really dirty and rough. Do you know what I mean? And same with these rocks. Yeah. My default position on rocks is lots of texture, lots of interesting bits. But so many details. I feel like it's sort of less obvious here at this like scale, but if I zoom out, maybe you'll see what I mean. It just feels very busy to me at the moment, but yeah, I suppose it's not too bad. Maybe I definitely need to do something to this, because I think that's making the whole piece look a little bit uninteresting at the moment. Yeah, so that's okay at the moment, because all of the value is down here, because this is where I've spent the majority of my time. So there's a lot more value contrast down here. I started to add a little bit more onto the face, and remember, this is sort of the viewing angle I'm going for, this line. So I want there to be like a shadow on one side of the face, which we're then going to do some rim light. But there's a few areas here where I haven't landed the highlighting correctly in terms of this viewing angle. So I'm going to need to add a little bit more green in here along this line. But yeah, I need to increase the value on the face so that it becomes the focal point. And one of the ways I'm going to do that is add some redness. So the redness saturation will draw your gaze towards it, but we absolutely need to increase the value of that face as well. And I'm actually highlighting at the moment with a color called Radiant Flesh on the green. Yeah, nose, lips, ears is pretty much spot on. So yeah, I'm actually using Radiant Flesh, which is a orangey, yellowy color. Let's see, I might just do a little bit of it now, actually just straight on a Radiant Flesh, see how that looks. Yeah, quite like it. Yeah, there's a little bit of magenta in there, a little bit of purple. Um, may come back in and add some more, but we'll see. We're just in that fun. We're in that fun period at the moment where you just get to muck around and try some things and see what works and see what doesn't work. And this is the angle. Like a harpoon in my heart. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, too much texture. I've got to figure out a way to smooth that out. How am I going to do that? How am I going to do that? Hello there, Dave Dog. I have flown over to Europe for Monte Sansevino and the Scale Model Challenge, and I received a silver medal at both of those events in the Masters category. It was a wonderful experience, and I talk about it all the time. I love it. I have not competed at a Golden Demon in a long time. Probably wouldn't, because I don't have as much enthusiasm for painting Games Workshop figures as I used to. But also, I don't think my style is likely to do all that well at. What do you mean, big if true? I fucking got the metal, mate. I'll show you. Dickhead. Jerick. Hi everyone, I'm Jerick. He's a jet, that guy. Love Eric. One of the kindest and most generous people. Yeah, he is definitely someone that you can recognise from his style. There's quite a few people I think that would fall into that category. I absolutely know who Luis Mendez Wanola is. He is one of the greatest miniature painters in the world that very few people know about. His Three Witches is literally the best version of the Three Witches and the most insane paint job I've ever seen. He is an absolute Fruit Loop. And if you know him, you're a very lucky person. Is he? Wow. Mate, there's very few painters that get me absolutely fucking jazzed. But Luis Mendez Wanola is one of the best painters that fucking no one knows about. You know, it blows my mind that I've probably got more followers than him. Yeah, I've talked about him before. I'm going to go see how many followers he's got. He's got 939 followers. What an absolute travesty. There he is. Go follow the guy. I've been following him for years. Absolutely. I was following him when he posted the very first work in progress shots of the Three Witches. And I can prove that because I have this saved to my phone, or a photo from his Facebook page saved to my phone from that period of time. Absolutely unbelievable. I think him and Antonio Pena are two wildly underrated miniature painters that do some really cool shit. Love Albert. He's a wonderful man. Have absolutely no idea how he paints like that. But yeah, I spent some time with him at Monty because we're both Games Workshop boffins. We love all of the lore and the history of Games Workshop. So we got to have a nice chat about Warhammer, the old world of Warhammer. Yeah, he collects, pieces of artwork from the old Warhammer days. I think he's got like some Adrian Smith pieces of artwork, some Karl Kopinski's, Wayne Reynolds. He loves it. I wonder what the key defining trait of great miniature painters is. I wonder if you had to analyse and say, what is the key defining trait that makes a miniature painter one of the best in the world? I think my response would be perseverance, but interested in your thoughts, friends. I have a saying that one of my mentors gave me very many years ago. You can achieve anything with the 3 P's: patience, perseverance, and practice, practice, practice. Yeah, Spanish painters are some of my most favourite painters. Here, I'll show you my video. It's very good. Big Dano does Monty. YouTube. I just remembered there's another piece to this. Maybe I should glue it on. I was thinking I wouldn't glue it on, but I probably should now. Otherwise everything's going to get lost. Yeah, I should definitely glue that on. Alright, let's do it. I need to spray it first. I'll spray that later. Yeah, sure, buddy. I can do that. I don't think I've seen it. I haven't been in and around dirty paint and water for a little while. Not on purpose, just been doing my board games videos. So. Boom! She's a really tricky model to paint. She doesn't feel like she should be, but she is. The biggest issue I see with this is you've gone too dark to too light, right? So if this was painted like a blue, like a dark blue, and then you moved into this patterning, it would look much more correct. As it is, because you've got such a stark value shift between that, it doesn't look like a piece of fabric. It looks like a pattern, which I'm sure is not your intent for it to be a pattern. The hair, you've got the highlights in the right spot, but you need to think to yourself, if the light is coming from this direction, which it looks like it is, there isn't a shadow in between that big clump. That's actually a highlight there. So this whole area should be highlighted, because at the moment that you look back at that line in between the hair, it looks a little bit askew. It looks wrong. The face is nice, but the eyes are detracting from the face, because the actual painting of the skin tone is nice. You could probably do with a little bit more shadow under the lips, under the eyebrows, probably not too much else. But the eyes, so because the eyes are so big on this piece, you really need to nail them. They need to be the absolute best eyes you've ever done. The irises are really good. The size of the irises is good, is spot on. The problem is that you haven't got a dark line separating the eye and the lid, and you'd probably want to use like a dark red or a brown, but there needs to be a sense of separation. There's no shadow at the bottom of the eyelid, at the bottom of the eye where the eye meets the eyelid, so it doesn't feel right. With eyes this big, you also need to have a little bit more, that little pink spot in the cornea, which is this little bit in the middle of the eye. And you need to have more of a, because you got to remember, eyeballs are translucent. You can actually see through them. So you need to have more shading of the white. Right now, it looks as though the white light reflection is roughly the same value as the rest of the eye, and that light should be point of white, and the rest of it should almost be a grey or a skin tone. Like when you stand back here, the eyes don't feel right, and it's because you got that sense of separation. There isn't one. The eyes sort of feel like that whole thing is the eye, which is the issue with it. But I think you've come on in leaps and bounds, and you should keep painting and keep getting better, because that's what's going to happen. What colour? Yeah, I suppose we could use Radiant Flesh for that as well. Why not? Why not? Boo. Boo. Ice, ice, yellow. Bum, 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 bum. I wonder if this actually needs that axe. Do you reckon it needs the axe on the arm? I'm not sure. Maybe it does. Yeah. Maybe I'll just sculpt an arm. Wouldn't be the first time. Oof. Starting to get hungry now, friends. Bit of orange is definitely going to work on this, I think. Got a nice, cool palette. I actually think how it's quite interesting. This palette does feel very cold to me, but there's a lot of warm colours in it. You know, I think if I zoom out, you know, it's quite a cold palette. You know, there's a lot of blues in the shadows, but it still feels quite warm. Interesting. Cool, friends. Yeah, I mean, I like working with that airbrush. I mean, I use the airbrush a lot, and it would comprise 20% of my painting at max. So, you know. But I'm looking forward to adding some more color, some richness of color. You know, just some little. Yeah, he's coming along okay. He's coming along okay. All right, friends. Back next or Wednesday, Thursday. Not sure yet. I might even announce it on my socials, and then should be back next Sunday. But the following week I'm in Tasmania for work, so I will not be doing anything that week. And then I may be back after that, but that's like is a week between I get back and Guild's in. So awesome, friends. Let's go find someone to raid. Haven't raided anyone for a while. Who's out and about? Monster Den minis. Yeah, we'll just go raid Monster Den. That's easy. That's awesome. I'll just go show. That's so great. Check this out. Hugo. Little guy. Alright, let's raid Monster Den, friends. I'll see you all. Where's the raid button gone? It's fucking gone. There it is. See you all soon, friends. Have a great day. Or night. Or whatever it is you're doing. Big Dano out. Bye.